All right, man, I've been waiting to do this video for the last couple of days. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this breaking news update. I wanted to talk about this, and it had to be its own separate video, just because it's such a long article that I'm going to be reading today. But on Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026, Pitt-Johnstown men's basketball head coach Bob Rukavina announced his retirement from the basketball program. He was the head coach of the Mountain Cats for 37 years. The last time I did a breaking news session, that was when Steve Murray announced just about a month ago that he was stepping down as the commissioner of the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference, which will be happening this June. Bob Rukavina, a guy that I didn't actually personally get to meet, but obviously he meant a lot to the program at Pitt-Johnstown, and he meant a lot to the Johnstown community. A guy that I always talk about is like, yeah, this guy had a lot of, he was a good coach. He's one of the all-time greats, not only at Pitt-Johnstown. He's the best coach that Pitt-Johnstown's ever had, but he's also one of the best coaches in Division II history, and especially in the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. So I'm going to read the article that came out a couple of days ago from Pitt-Johnstown's website, pittjohnstownathletics.com. The University of Pittsburgh at Johnstown's athletics department announced today, which was Tuesday, March 3rd, men's basketball head coach Bob Rukavina has retired after a 37-year tenure at UPJ and a remarkable 47-year coaching career. Known affectionately as Coach Ruk by players, colleagues, and fans alike, Rukavina leaves behind a legacy that extends far beyond wins, losses, and championship banners. One that is forever etched into the record books, and more importantly, into the lives of every young man he ever coached and mentored. Quote, as exceptionally talented, highly successful, and much beloved coach, Bob Rukavina has built and led an extraordinary basketball program that has shaped and transformed the lives of hundreds of athletes over nearly 4 decades. Through the years, Coach Rukavina consistently excelled and went well above and beyond the call of duty in his overlapping roles as coach, teacher, mentor, advisor, guide, and cheerleader, not just on the court, but throughout his students' collegiate experience and beyond. Besides being the winningest basketball coach, always supported his basketball alumni in the years after graduation, maintaining close lifelong relationships with them, counseling and guiding them, celebrating life milestones with them, being there for them through thick and thin, so much so that they referred to him as his second dad. UPJ is enormously grateful to Coach Ruk for his distinguished years of service and decades of excellence that have contributed to the reputation and standing of this institution. We wish him and his family the very best in his next chapter of his remarkable journey, said the UPJ's president, Dr. Jem Spector. Next one. This comes from the director of athletics. Quote, Coach Ruk drastically impacted my life as a volleyball student athlete during my time at Pitt-Johnstown, said Abby Gerhardt. He wasn't just a basketball coach. He was a father figure to so many. You knew you could count on him to give you good advice and be your biggest fan. The same holds true professionally for me as well. He has been a tremendous support and advocate for me as I pursued my professional endeavors of becoming an athletic director. He empowered me and gave me great confidence, something he has always done with his players. I truly value and cherish the time that I've spent with Coach Ruk and look forward to seeing him in his consistent keystone in our men's basketball program as he transitions into retirement. We fully expect to see his smiling face still volunteering and give back to the program that he loved and built. He's the exact type of role model every coach should aspire to be, a consistent force in so many lives, holding them accountable, being a rock-solid support system, and always being their biggest fan, cheering them on. But perhaps what speaks loudest in what his players walked away with their playing days were done, their degrees in hand, and a clear path forward in life. He didn't just develop basketball players. He helped shape careers, open doors, and build futures, end quote. First section, a calling, not a career. Bob Rukavina's path to Pitt-Johnstown began the way all great stories do, with an unshakable passion. At just 22 years old, he stepped into his first head coaching spot at his alma mater, Riverview High School, where his journey into the profession he loved began. Then he accepted the assistant coaching position at CCAC North under the legendary coach Bill Shea, manning the sideline for 3 years before transitioning to CCAC's South Campus. According to Ruk, those formative years shaped the coach and the man he would become. When Rukavina took over the Mountain Cats in 1989, he inherited a program that had managed only 4 winning seasons between 1969 and 1988. What followed was one of the most remarkable turnarounds in NCAA Division II basketball history, viewing coaching as his passion and never a job. Rukavina dedicated 37 years to building something special at Pitt-Johnstown, and he would be the first to tell you that now it's finally time for him to figure out what he wants to do with his life. It was around the same time that another young, driven coach was planting his own roots at Pitt-Johnstown, wrestling's Pat Pecora, another legend for Pitt-Johnstown. The two formed a bond that would span decades, friendship forged in the shared experience of arriving young, building from nothing, and refusing to settle for anything less than excellence. Together, Rukavina and Pecora became pillars of Pitt-Johnstown's athletics, two trailblazers who put the Mountain Cats on the national map and proved that great things can be built in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. The passing of Coach Pecora in September of 2024 was a profound loss for the entire Pitt-Johnstown community. Their friendship was one of the great constants of his time here. Two men who walked parallel paths, pushed each other forward, and left the same indelible mark on this institution. Coach Ruk carries that friendship with him as he steps away, and is fitting that his legacy and Pat's will forever be intertwined in the history of Pitt-Johnstown athletics. Coach Rukavina also found a way to be a coach not only to his players, but other coaches at Pitt-Johnstown. Former women's basketball coach and current associate vice president of student affairs and athletics, Mike Drehos, had this to say, quote, "I had the privilege of coaching alongside Ruk for 12 years as the women's basketball coach. As a young, first-time head coach, he became a mentor to me during that time. As AVP, I've continued to witness firsthand the success of his program, but Bob's true legacy extends far beyond wins and losses. His greatest achievement has been profound impact he's made on the lives of his players, shaping them not just to be athletes, but as men of character. The loyalty and love of his former players continue to show long after they've put their sneakers on for the last time, is a testament for the lasting relationships he built and the lives that he changed. Ruk's dedication to Pitt-Johnstown and his student athletes has led an indelible mark on the institution, and his presence on the sidelines will be deeply missed," end quote. During that same era that Coach Ruk took over the program, he also spent 20 years coaching alongside men's basketball coach Jody Galt. And then together, they helped build a culture of success that elevated both basketball programs and the athletic department as a whole. Galt said, quote, "I always enjoyed working alongside Bob. He was a great coach and friend. He did all the right things and really cared about his athletes," end quote. Building a program from the ground up. In 37 years as Pitt-Johnstown's head coach, he had compiled an overall record of 576 wins and a .580 winning percentage, making him by far the winningest coach in the program's history and one of the most accomplished coaches at the D2 NCAA level. And he is by far the winningest coach in PSAC history. His first major milestone came in 1992 when he guided Pitt-Johnstown to its first winning season since 1979, clinching its first historic victory over Division I Youngstown State University as the program's first ever win over a D1 opponent. Sustained excellence. Under Coach Rukavina's leadership, the Mountain Cats became a consistent force in Division II men's basketball. Pitt-Johnstown made 5 Division II tournaments appearances and posted 10 seasons of 20 or more wins, including 4 consecutive 20-win seasons from 2005-2006 through the 2008-2009 season. and then 3 straight from the 2019-2020 season all the way to the 2022-2023 season, the last time that they made the Atlantic Region Tournament, and had also appeared in the PSAC Men's Basketball Tournament. In the 1997-98 season, he guided the Mountain Cats to a school record 24-5 in back-to-back tournament bids. The following season, finished the regular season ranked 5th in the entire nation. Between 1996 and 2000, the program went an astonishing 87-23, a .791 winning percentage that announced the Mountain Cats as a legitimate national program. 23 is .791 all-time winning percentage that announced them as a legitimate national program. Rukavina earned WVIAC, which was the former conference before they became the Mountain East Conference. He won Coach of the Year honors in the 2007-2008 season after leading Pitt-Johnstown to the conference regular season title, and took home an instructor alongside former NBA Coach of the Year Jack McKinney at the McQuest Coaching Clinic in Beirut, Lebanon in 2004. On January 18th, 2020, Coach Ruk reached a milestone a few coaches at any level has ever achieved. His recording his 500th win in a 72-69 win over Pitt-Johnstown inside the UPJ Sports Center. Next closest coach is Joe Lombardi. He is now 47 wins away, so he's pretty close. He's about 123 wins now from tying his records. A team built on efficiency. Pitt-Johnstown became synonymous with efficient, intelligent basketball under Coach Rukavina's guidance. Mountain Cats led the nation in field goal percentage in both 2008 and 2010, and were one of the best three-point shooting teams in all of college basketball in 2013, 2014, and 2023. And this season, that team continued that tradition by shooting over 50% from the field. 5 Mountain Cat players led the NCAA in statistical categories on 7 different occasions, and 5 received honors ranging from All-American honor mention to All-Region recognition. 9 former players went to play professionally in countries around the world. More than a coach. Statistics and accolades, impressive as they are, tell only part of his story and the impact that he made at Pitt-Johnstown. While Ruk and his teams were always a force to be reckoned with on the court, his abilities to reach his athletes extended just as powerfully in the classroom. His program boasts a 90% graduation rate, a testament to his conviction that basketball was always a vehicle for developing outstanding young men, not just outstanding players. Coach Ruk made sure his players were going to be successful in life, and results speak for themselves. He may have a former player in nearly every profession, from medical field to education, from business to public service. To the hundreds of young men who played for him, Coach Ruk was a true player's coach in every sense of the phrase. His genuine and caring nature allowed him to form lifelong bonds with his players, bonds that never faded when the final buzzer sounded. Many of his former athletes would describe him not just as a coach, but a second father and best friend. Those who competed under his tutelage maintain a close relationship with him to this day, and Coach Ruk would not have it any other way. Constantly fielding calls from one of his guys, his cell phone minutes rack up rather quickly. Hour-long conversations with alumni, former assistant coaches, or just friends in the business are simply part of his daily routine. His extensive, close-knit alumni group is among the most endearing measures than what he built at Pitt-Johnstown. These are men who became doctors, educators, coaches, pillars of the communities. And men who will tell you that Coach Ruk didn't just teach them how to play basketball, he taught them how to carry themselves in the world. He poured into them, and they carried it forward. The classroom and the court. Coach Ruk's influence was never limited to the hardwood. Longtime facility representative and current vice president of academic affairs, Dr. Ray Rabley, has witnessed firsthand that Rukavina's values shaped his players as both students and as people. Quote, Bob is an exceptional leader and mentor to the student athletes throughout his long career at UPJ. He consistently emphasizes that the same hard work and discipline required on the court must also be applied in the classroom. As a result, his players have often been among the most accomplished students on campus, and he has approached his coaching with quiet humility and integrity. setting an example for all of us who work with student athletes and who strive to treat others with respect and fairness. It is a sentiment that echoes across campus and speaks fear to the rare kind that Coach Ruk has always been, one whose impact was measured not just in wins, but in diplomas earned, character built, and lives changed. A program worth believing in. Few people embody the far-reaching impact that Coach Ruk's tenure better than Rich Reagan, a former Pitt-Johnstown basketball player whose love for the program predates Rukavina's arrival. Reagan, who actually faced Rukavina as an opponent on the court, was so moved by what he saw Coach Ruk built at Pitt-Johnstown that the two forged a deep and lasting friendship rooted in a shared devotion into the program. That friendship led Reagan to invest directly into the program's future, dedicating a new gym floor and weight room that elevate the Mountain Cats to a new level of competitiveness. Reagan speaks on Coach Ruk with tremendous admiration, describing him as a great friend and coach whose consistency of purpose reeks of class. He recalls that Coach Ruk's main priority was never just basketball. It was taking care of his guys first, developing the whole person. And yet, on the sideline, he was as sharp as a tactician as they come, a true X's and O's coach. His teams were always a joy to watch, deploying strategies and kept his opponents and fans alike on the edge of their seats. The rare combination. A coach who put people first and still found a way to consistently outthink the competition is what made Coach Rukavina so truly special, and what kept people like Rich Reagan coming back to support the program he built. From player to coach, a bond that never broke. Perhaps no one captures the full arc of Coach Ruk's impact than Patrick Grubbs, one of the finest players to ever suit up for the Mountain Cats, and is now a longtime assistant coach under Rukavina himself. Grubbs' journey began when Ruk recruited him and evolved into one of the most enduring player-coach relationships in program history. Over his 4-year career, he became one of the most decorated players in program history, finishing third on the all-time scoring list with 1,759 points, and stands alone as the all-time rebounder with just under 1,000 rebounds, averaging over 15 points and nearly 9 rebounds per game. A 2-time All-WVIAC selection and a 2011-12 Sporting News NCAA Division II preseason honorable mention of All-American. Grubbs was also a relentless force in the paint, finishing the top 10 in the nation in field goal percentage in 3 of his 4 seasons, also leading the country in 2009-2010 66.3%. His 64.7% field goal percentage ranks as among the best in program history, a statistical testament to exactly the kind of efficient, purposeful basketball that Coach Ruk built in his program around. Quote, "I can't thank Coach Rukavina enough for all that he has done for me. From recruiting a chubby kid with no other interest to bringing me back as his assistant. I have so much gratitude and appreciation for him. Any success that I had as a player was because of him. He always had a knack for putting his players in positions to succeed. Knowing that he genuinely cared for me made it easy for me to play for him. And I know that I'm not the only one of his former players to feel that." End quote. Grubbs' admiration to Coach Ruk only deepened when he returned as the sidelines alongside him. Quote, "Having played for him, it was a no-brainer coming back to work for him. I can't tell you how much I learned from him, from X's and O's to relating to student athletes. Much of who I am as a coach was formed from his teaching and actions." On top of his coaching abilities, Coach Rukavina is an even better person. Spending over a decade with him, our relationship evolved from player-coach to best friends. He absolutely became a second father to me, and I will miss coaching with him greatly. End quote. A community that believed in the support that Coach Ruk extended well beyond the campus itself, reaching into the broader Pitt-Johnstown community that embraced him in his program from the very beginning. Donna Vickroy, a longtime supporter of the Mountain Cats basketball and former member of the Pitt-Johnstown Registrar's Office, is among those who stood by the program since day one. Quote, "My husband, Ron, and I have followed Rukavina since day one at Pitt-Johnstown," she shared. Bob would reach out to us for assistance for the players, and we loved obliging. Bob commanded respect just by his presence. It was obvious the players trusted Bob with every respect of their lives. It will be difficult not seeing him along the sidelines years to come, but this is a well-deserved season of his life. Sit back, Bob, and reflect on the difference you've made in so many lives." End quote. A campus icon. Coach Ruk's impact at Pitt-Johnstown was never confined to the walls of the UPJ Sports Center. Across campus, he is remembered just as fondly by the faculty, staff, and administrators who crossed his path over nearly 4 decades. From the facilities crew to the front office, Coach Ruk treated everyone he encountered with the same warmth, respect, and kindness that he defined his relationship with his players. No one was beneath a conversation, a kind word, or a genuine smile from Coach Ruk, and people noticed. His generosity, too, became something of a hallmark. Whether it was going out to lead his way to lend a hand, lifting someone during a difficult time, or simply making those around him feel valued and appreciated. Coach Ruk gave freely and expected nothing in return. To know him was to be better for it, and the affection that he spanned this campus is a testament to the kind of person he is, and not just the kind of coach he was. A legacy that will endure. Last one. Bob Rukavina was inducted into the Pitt-Johnstown Athletics Hall of Fame in 2023, a fitting honor for a man who gave nearly 4 decades of his life to this institution. His legacy is forever etched into the record books as the all-time winningest coach in program history, but far more significantly, it is etched into the lives of all those that he coached, mentored, and shared into the men they are today. Coach Ruk is survived in retirement by his wife Sharon and their son Nicholas, whom he resides with in Lower Burrell, Pennsylvania. The University of Pittsburgh-Johnstown Athletics Department will celebrate Coach Ruk's extraordinary career and contributions at a date and time to be announced. So once again, to the respect of Coach Rukavina, as a fan of IUP, I've watched him and witnessed the impact he made on a lot of players. The one I always talk about a lot is John Paul Kropka, JPK. He was one of the all-time greats at Pitt-Johnstown. But I want to say congratulations to Coach Rukavina on your retirement, and I hope you, your wife, and your son have a lot of time to spend together, and for what you've done to the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference since your team program joined in 2013, over the last 13 years in the PSAC, and in the 37 years you had at Pitt-Johnstown, and the 47 years as a coach overall. Thank you so much, Coach Rukavina, for doing everything you did, being a mentor to everyone in the campus of Pitt-Johnstown, and for the coaches that have worked under you, and the players that were under you, and you shaped a lot of lives for them. So yeah, I wanted to talk about that because this was a huge story. I knew this was going to happen. I didn't think it was going to happen this year, but it is what it is. But Season 3, Episode 31 of the PCBC will be coming out tomorrow at approximately 3 p.m. tomorrow. And then Season 3, Episode 32, because of time purposes, that episode will be filmed at 1 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, March 8th, just right before the 2026 PSAC Men's Basketball Championship games. We'll also be talking about the Mountain East Conference in both tomorrow's episode and on Sunday as well. And then we'll add on with episode 33, talking about the teams who made the Atlantic region. We'll do recaps of the championship game and for the Mountain East and the PSAC, and then obviously the Atlantic region rankings. All right, I'll see you guys soon.